Welcome back to another episode of TVGP's We Roguelike It, show where I have suckered Moon into playing excellent roguelike. Well, largely excellent. There's some at the bottom of the list that are they're not that great. But this one turns out to be pretty great. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hi, I think.
And we're talking about our third week of Loop Hero. How was your week in the loops? Rebuilding the world.
Well, if you're talking about regular life, then that was a nightmare.
Yeah, that day in and day out isn't as good. Yeah, doesn't have a great soundtrack like this one.
Excuse me. What? How do you know what my life soundtrack is like?
That's true. That's true.
I'm the Peter Griffin from Family Guy with the trombone player behind me all the time.
That's right.
Still one of the best episodes of that show.
Yep.
Let's see. I beat the first boss. I can't remember if I talked about that last week or not.
I don't think we did. Oh, you did, because we talked about unlocking new perks, like selectable perks.
Yeah, sure. I can't remember. I also beat the second boss.
Nice.
That third boss is not great. I can't even get to the third boss.
That third area is pretty spicy. That's a hard difficulty jump.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I got the Necromancer.
Yeah, I love the Necromancer.
So is there only the 3 classes?
Yeah, that's all of them.
Okay, and Necromancer is your favorite?
I think if depending on the day, it's either Necromancer or the Rogue. But
Rogue? I don't like the Rogue. I don't. The whole not getting equipment until the loop is finished is some real trash BS to me.
It can get real rough, but I feel like the Rogue, because it attacks so quickly, that I think once you get the river and the forests, I think that's where the Rogue gets really strong. But before then,
because I still don't have those.
Yeah, I think that's when it gets really, really strong. But before then, it can struggle to keep up, because you can go like maybe or loop or 2 without getting a weapon as the Rogue, and you're like, yeah, I really need something right now, please, because I might this loop 3 might be my final one if I can't get something here.
Yep, I know. I still need to get more gear, apparently, or more equipment for the base, so I can.
Yeah.
I think my next things that I unlock will be the thing that gives me the river, and then. But at the same time, I also want to upgrade the smithy, because that's what allows you to start with the class for the weapons for everybody's class.
Yep, that's really good too.
So expensive.
I just upgraded in my camp, and it took like everything I had.
Like, it's ridiculous how expensive that is.
Yeah.
I got the Necromancer. I got the.
Are you enjoying the Rogue? Or are you enjoying the Necromancer?
Yes and no.
It's very different.
Yes, I do like the fact that they bring in additional targets for the enemies to kill, and the perks that you get as the Necromancer feel a lot stronger. Like the when a skeleton dies, it heals you for like 13% or whatever.
Yeah, that's really good.
And when you take a direct hit, then the skeletons do have a percentage chance of doing counterattacks. Like, stuff like that is super cool.
And the Necromancer is the one that gets the shield too, like the necklace or whatever has the
magic shield.
The magic shield. So something really cool. The thing I was exploring last week, the Arsenal golden card, where you get lower quality drops, but you get the other slot for your hero. The warrior gets a helmet slot, which is fine. But the rogue gets the necklace slot. So the rogue can have the magic shield as well, and that turns out to be really strong for that character. It gets pretty bonkers pretty quickly.
And I'm sure at that point as well, you base your base class around evasion.
Yep.
And as soon as you've got it set around evasion, that's the kit and caboodle done kind of thing.
It's really good. I don't even remember what the Necromancer gets. I can't remember. Yeah. It's really good. That card's real good. I underestimated that when I played originally, and that's kind of the cornerstone of my stuff right now.
Yeah, this is something I may have to look into because I don't have the golden cards yet because I don't have the Intel Center. I
Hmm.
don't have the Intel Center because I don't have the thing below it. The thing below it is the thing that unlocks the river, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Right. Yeah, Intel Center is
now,
pretty critical.
I think I always push myself too hard. Where I'm just like, yeah, I could do another loop. No, I can't. I should retreat right now.
That's right. I'm
Where
at
I'm
half
always like,
health.
I can do one more loop. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got one potion out of 5. I am fine. I can do another loop. Like I need to get better about bouncing when it's
Yeah.
time to bounce,
The only
rather
time I
than
really push it is when I have 2 or more skulls from the bosses. So that way when you lose a run, you can cash those in to lose a run and
for
keep all your
keep
materials.
everything.
Yeah.
Took me a while to figure that one out. So
I
I
forgot
don't know.
about that completely.
I might go back to like boss 1 and just do a whole bunch of
You
loops
farm a
there
bunch. Yeah.
to build materials, but also to get those skulls.
Right.
Like because that would be ideal.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that third difficulty is just something especially annoying. We'll say, like the fact that the enemies have special abilities now, the fact that they can like set bleed and poison damage
Yep.
and everything else all at once is just like, guys, come on. Like,
It's literally killing me. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're asking a bit much now.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the songs. Like the perks for the knight seem to be cool too. Like that shield bash perk for the knight,
Yeah.
where you can stun an enemy when you shield bash them, is really great.
The one I really like, and I don't remember where you get it from. It might be the second boss, but it's the one where when you attack an enemy, you have like a 15% chance to hit them with like blood lightning or something. I found that's
Okay.
really good with the rogue because you're attacking so quickly, or with the
Mhm.
necromancer because it seems to count for all of your skeletons.
Okay.
That one's really
I
solid.
I also have no idea what happens, but when there's suddenly a bunch of stuff on the left side of the screen and the right side of the screen, I don't know. I just smile and nod. Like I had my
Oh,
skeleton
like,
count up to like +5 or something, and like I had
and they have
4 on the
archer
field and 1
skeletons.
on the slot on the
Yep,
left.
those are cool. Have you
But then I
unlocked?
also ran into that with the lava worms where they were appearing on
Oh
a
my god,
separate
those are the
column on the right
worst.
too.
Oh, they're the worst. Have you unlocked the watchtowers? The archer towers in the camp?
Archie towers, no. If you're talking
Okay.
about the thing that decreases spawn thing, yes.
No, because there's an archer tower you can unlock in the camp where essentially a couple of tiles away from when you're doing the loop, when you're at the campfire and a couple tiles away, you'll get some archers that help you defeat a bunch of enemies. So I've been using them to help me farm some of the hardest stuff right next to the campfire because I can just run into that and it's like, there's 5 or 6 enemies. That's fine because I have 4 archers with me and I'm doing a bunch of damage. That's
And
been
they
really
also
strong.
help stop the temple spawn at the end.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot in this game. Surprisingly.
Yeah. I still feel like I'm barely scratching the surface. Like I said, I've still got like I haven't got any golden cards. I haven't
Yep.
got any of the upgraded cards from the Intel place yet. It's like it's my own fault because I'm not jumping when I should jump. I'm not bouncing
Yeah.
out the loops. So I just keep losing more and more stuff. I'm pretty sure I've got the achievement for losing like all of the items. I'm like 1 away from getting every one of those achievements.
Yeah.
It's just like I probably shouldn't have this already, but oh well, I'm just gonna keep on dying, I guess.
Yeah, you should probably do some farming runs like you were saying, at least until you get to Intel Center, because that unlocks so much stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. I just gotta figure out what it is, and then because it took me forever to figure out how to see what the materials were because you
Yes.
couldn't mouse over them naturally.
Yep.
So it took me just to figure out how to get my mouse on that side to go down to highlight the things to figure out what it was I needed so I could then bounce that over into my build of my deck essentially.
Right.
So I could figure out of my deck what I wanted to carry forwards.
Yeah, that's one of the hard parts about the on the PC version, it's like, oh, I'll just mouse over this, but this version is a little bit hard.
Yeah.
I had a really good week in this. I got so each one of the classes has a hard achievement. I got the one for the rogue, which is essentially do enough loops that when you go back to the campfire, every item they give you is orange quality. And I got that on, I think, loop 25 on the one
Oh,
I was running.
So when you kill the boss and keep going, does
Yep.
it start the boss timer again, or does
Nope,
it just
you
keep
just
going?
go forever. Yeah. Which I was curious about because there's an achievement for filling the entire map, and I did that on one run, which I didn't realize you also have to fill in all of the squares around the path, but you also have to fill in every tile of the path as well. So I just put a bunch of villages there, and I was like, hey, all right, you got an exceedingly rare achievement. So that was actually pretty fun to do. And I think the thing that's been really helping me do that is that Arsenal golden card and getting that additional item slot. Because that, like, I was running into, after I beat the boss, I was running into loops where I am the rogue and I'm one-shotting multiple enemies at once because I'm doing so much damage. Like, you get some really bonkers stuff, and you don't stop earning XP, so you continually keep unlocking more and more skills as you go through. The only thing I've stopped doing is every time I beat a boss, I don't get a choice of another skill. I just get essentially like a cache of materials, which is also fine because I just need a metric ton of materials.
So each time you beat a boss, you get a choice of one of their quote-unquote skills until you run out, and then it's just essentially loot.
Yeah, it's essentially like, here's a, like, you know how each fragments of stuff, you get like 10 or 12 of those and it builds a big version of them? You essentially get like 3 of the big versions of those, which is pretty good, sort of no matter where you're at in the game.
I might try and do some infinite loops on the tier 1 level then, or the level 1 stuff, just to try and get some materials.
And that actually bit me this week because I finally built the last thing in the camp. So I built the alchemist hut, was the last one for me. And I couldn't figure out how to get it was like an astral orb, I think was the last one you needed.
Yeah. I know I've struggled with the metal. I can't seem to figure out how to get the metal orbs or the metal items, but I think that I'm assuming that's a junked item from when you let the items go down far enough to be turned into junk, and then that is where the metal comes from.
Yeah. Well, and my problem was I was farming the right enemies. Like, I'd put the right building next to the other building, and the right enemies were spawning. I was doing it on the wrong act. I needed to do an Act 2 or Act 3. As soon as I did that, it was like a rare drop, but still a drop, nevertheless. So,
was it vampires? You needed to kill vampires?
I needed to kill vampire mages, specifically, which was not a thing that I knew how to spawn until I looked up how to do Astral Orb. I'm like, oh, you just need some vampire mages. I was like, cool, I have more questions now.
Okay, so vampire mages, so they're probably something to do with magic. It's not going to be the blood forest, because that spawns the weird
I don't think you have the item yet, because I don't think I unlocked it.
I probably don't.
Until way later.
Vampires next to everything.
Yeah.
Except for the ruins, which is where the lava worms come from.
Right. I never play with the ruins, because those lava worms are the worst. Man. All right. I am out of time, though. Loop Hero continues to be great. If you're listening to this and you haven't played it, you really should. It's really good. We got one more week of looping here before we're done with Loop Hero. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next run. Bye.
Bye.